do I do about my dad? I've been lying to my mom about chewing tobacco. And I think it stems kind of just like a little bit further than that too, because like growing up, I think probably the earliest I started picking up on his like storytelling tendencies was probably when I was like late elementary school, early middle school time frame.
Hold on, like storytelling, like he just
like kind of just making up.
Okay,
yeah,
so he's a
making
liar.
Up stories to have something to say.
He's a liar. Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, like, dude, I'm a storyteller for a living, and I am always telling stories, and I like that. But I try to make sure they're all mostly accurate. So, let's call him what he is. If he just lied to you growing up all the time, and you kind of caught him in that, then let's live in that tension, okay?
Okay.
All right. So he was a liar, and you figured it out in middle school. What would he lie about?
I mean, it was just like small things. So like, we would go hunting every couple of years, and when we'd be back home, like we would go to church or whatever, and he'd be talking to people and tell a story about what happened at hunting camp, including me, like in this story. And I was like, that definitely did not happen that way at all.
Whoa.
But it was like, when I was younger, it just kind of seemed, like it didn't seem harmful. You know, it was just like him trying to say something interesting.
Did it make you feel uncomfortable?
I mean, yes, when I started noticing more often, it definitely started to make me uncomfortable, but I also was like, well, it's not hurting anyone, so I don't feel like, you know, disrespecting him necessarily was my mindset, so I don't feel like correcting him in front of these people and making him look bad. And as I've gotten older, it's like I've picked up on some other lies when he says them, but then it's also when I do sometimes like call it out or it like express disbelief, it turns out that like he's telling the truth about this thing. And then when I talk to my mom about it, like she also picks up on some of these like lies or story tells. And so my wife and my mom also have a good relationship, and they talk a lot about how it's hard sometimes to recognize if he's telling the truth or if he's lying about something.
And that's kind of the cancer of someone who lies all the time, is you don't know if they're telling the truth or not, which makes it really hard to anchor into a relationship with a person like that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so the really question about like the chewing tobacco is tough. So he used to chew tobacco when he was a lot younger, and then like my mom takes pride in the fact that she like made him quit I think it was probably like almost 20 years ago. And I never really noticed it when I was younger. I didn't really notice it until probably a year or two ago when it was like blatantly obvious. Cause he was like doing it around me.
So
and, like,
hold on. What? Let me just get right to the thing. Like, how old are you?
I'm 25.
Okay. You have no business carrying your father's deception. Let's just go that way. I don't care if a dude chews tobacco or use nicotine products or whatever. I even use some nicotine product. Like that is the least amount of worry here. The question you're asking yourself is, I'm 25 years old. I'm married. How long do I have to keep carrying my dad's dishonesty? And the answer is no more.
Yeah. Because honestly, like I don't really care that he does it. The only thing that bothers me is that he's like hiding it from my mom.
Well, I mean, but like, is your mom asking you?
Me and my brother into it.
Well, yeah. I mean, that's just, I'm not going to carry your crap. And then if he turns and goes, oh, you told your mom, like, dude, I'm not going to lie for you anymore.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I think the big thing I struggle with is like, do I tell my mom or do I not tell my mom, or do I confront my dad? But my problem that I keep on coming back to every time I think about confronting him about lying to my mom is just like, I feel like I have no place to stand, because that line that I grew up with kind of like I caught on to that too. And for
Of course you did.
I'm still working through it. But like for the first 4 years, I lied to my wife about all kinds of things. So
All right, make a
trying
commitment.
to-
Listen, make a commitment right now. I'm never going to lie again. And here, I know it's easier said than done. So here's the path forward with your wife. Here's what I used to offer my students. Because by the way, I grew up not telling the truth all the time too. All the time. Okay? That's why I'm such a maniac about it now. Growing up, I mean, when I started working with students and I did student conduct for like 20 years, whenever a student would come in and I would call them on something, I would always tell them at the end of the meeting, like, hey, were you selling drugs here? Were you cheat on this? Or did you just get arrested for assault? Or whatever the thing was I was talking to him about in my role as dean of students. I always said, after this meeting, you have 24 hours to come back because I know this is hard. And I gave him 24 hours. And I said, if you come back and you tell me, like, hey, I'm sorry, I freaked out, I told you something that wasn't true, here's what really happened. I'll count it as though you told the truth on the front end. Because I'm trying to teach people how to feel like I got to be dishonest real quick and then go do the next right thing. Okay? So sit down with your wife. Does she know you've lied to her for the first 4 years of your marriage?
Yes.
Okay. So let's say we're coming up with a plan. I'm never going to lie again. And if I catch myself lying, I'm going to come back within 24 hours. I'm going to sit down and I'm going to apologize and I'm going to tell you what really happened. Okay?
Okay.
But this is the sins of a dad going down to his son, and it's up to you to stop it. You can't blame him. You can't put it on him. You're a grown man now. You chose to get married. You're walking through this. Make a commitment. I'm going to be radically honest. Okay?
Okay.
And part of that radical honesty is I'm not carrying other people's dishonesty either. I'm not going to do it. I don't care if it's my dad, it's my mom. Now, I would not, this is just me, dude. You can do what you want. I would not call my mother and be like, I've got to tell you a big, deep, dark secret about dad. What I wouldn't do is, if it comes up somewhere and you hear your mom going, I'm just so proud of your dad after 20 years, still not, you'd be like, yeah, he does. He does it all the time. And so what I'm not going to do is just go seek to unwind all these things that I think were lies and judge the past, but I'm not going to carry any dishonesty moving forward.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. I guess then, so like, by committing to like not lying anymore, like, so I guess like if he does it around me, that I just have to like find the strength to be like, you can't do that around me and lie to my mom, or I don't know. It's just.
I mean, do you really think in your guts your mom doesn't know?
Judgmental. Well, I feel like she's probably getting hints more because she talks about it and about how she made him quit like way too often for someone to not be doubting that he fully quit.
Yeah, I mean, you can do what you want to, dude. I mean, the core issue here is you feel less than because of your past. Let today be day one. I'm never going to lie again. And when I catch myself, I'm going to humble myself and go make it right. And what will happen is you'll realize two things. One, I don't have to lie about stuff. I'm a good man, and I wish I made more money. I wish my car was fancier. I wish I had some cooler stories, but I'm a good man, and I'm gonna traffic in integrity. The second thing is make it just a point of your new identity as a person who only traffics in honesty and integrity. I'm just not going to let people lie around me. So I don't care if a guy dips around you. Who cares? It's when he says, hey, don't tell your mom. Say, no, I don't do that anymore, Dad. I'm done with that. If you don't want me, I'm not going to hold secrets between you and mom, period. Oh, seriously, you're going to tell your mom? Yes, I am. I'm not carrying your dishonesty with mom. That's up to you. You're a grown man. And every single young married man I know has some sort of moment like this with his dad. And it might be integrity. It might be, hey, don't tell your mom. I don't want to hear stories about mom. Like, there's always a thing. Politically, with religion. There's always a moment when a son's got to stand up and say, as for me and my house, ... And that's where you are, man. That's where you are. And so the tobacco here is way not the issue. The issue is you're tired of being around an old man that lies to you all the time. You're tired of being stuck and feeling like I'm trying to be a person of integrity. I'm trying to stop lying to my wife, to my friends and family. I want out of this like just way of being. And yet I feel like I'm participating when mom is like, I'm so proud of him. So yeah, if she says that, I would be like, Mom, he totally does. He totally does. And that's just you. I'm not keeping y'all secrets. I'm not doing that. And by the way, if he lies about this, he's lying about other stuff. And that's not for you to get in the middle of and play referee and play judge and jury, but it is for you to say, I'm not carrying y'all's crap like that. No way, Jose. No way. Sorry, brother. The thing you can control here is I'm never going to lie again. I'm proud of you for making that turn, dude. Get radical about it. Get radical. Have all your friends and your family know, dude, that dude is a straight shooter.